Joining us now for the next Focus Hour here on Beyond Clean's SPX 2021 is David Hilliker, President and CEO at ChemDAQ. And David, you're also a multiple-time past guest of the Beyond Clean podcast, so you're certainly no stranger to me, but I want to thank you so much for joining us for your second SPX event.
Thank you, Justin. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So, David, why don't you give everyone a little bit of your background? Tell us who you are.
My background, I've been an advocate of worker safety and specifically sterile processing, frontline technician safety for probably 25 to 30 years now. I've been an advocate and an innovator, I would say, of some of the first monitoring equipment ever designed specifically for that application.
And I really like it about worker safety. And we're going to dive into that as we continue this conversation and we talk about SPX 2021 and your focus hour and some of the content that we're going to be seeing. But can you tell everybody, when you say worker safety, what is it that ChemDAQ does? What's the company's background?
Thanks, Justin. ChemDAQ is the leading manufacturer of chemical monitoring systems, not only for hospital sterile processing, but also for the food and beverage industry and the commercial ethylene oxide sterilization.
Excellent. And when we talk about chemical monitoring, I think what we're really doing is we're discussing exposure, right? And how to prevent exposure for the frontline workers. Like you said, you're extremely passionate about worker safety. And I know ChemDAQ isn't just in the healthcare space. You have products for all different types of industries, and it's all tied around managing and monitoring exposure so that the frontline technicians and the workers can know that they're safe. But what specifically do you have in terms of monitoring products for sterile processing?
Hospital sterile processing is where we started almost 30 years ago. ChemDAQ was the first company to design a monitoring system to protect workers from exposure to ethylene oxide. And back then, ethylene oxide was ubiquitous. It was almost every hospital had ETO. Scale forward, and now we're talking about most hospitals have hydrogen peroxide, gas plasma, or vaporized hydrogen peroxide, or any other form of hydrogen peroxide sterilization. The issue is that those chemicals are they have the same purpose to kill all life, and they're toxic, highly toxic chemicals. So if any fugitive gases escape from any of that sterilization or processing equipment into the breathing zone of the frontline sterilization technician, they're at risk of serious health complications.
And when you say serious health complications, what are we talking about? Are we going as far as to say cancer?
Absolutely, and a lot of people don't understand this. And it really has a lot to do with the occupational safety agencies, for instance, OSHA, NIOSH, all those agencies that are tasked with coming up with occupational exposure limits. They're just so very severely limited in their budgets that when they do focus on any particular chemical, it's a serious issue. If they've taken the time and the budget to come up with an occupational exposure limit, then it's something that you really need to be aware of. Hydrogen peroxide, for instance, you asked, Justin, how severe? Believe it or not, there hasn't been a lot of studies on hydrogen peroxide, but what we do know is that it is a confirmed animal carcinogen. Compare this to ethylene oxide back in the 70s. Ethylene oxide was a confirmed animal carcinogen. So the concern is, of course, our concern is that it is something that can cause serious health risks. If you tune into any of our educational information that we've produced and actually partnered to provide the sterile processing community with Beyond Clean, you'll learn all of the aspects that are essential to know working around these chemicals on a daily basis.
Yeah, David, I definitely want to plug what you just mentioned there. You were the very first partner of ours to deliver CE approved content through social media. And so anybody who follows ChemDAQ on LinkedIn can access that. You can visit their website, ChemDAQ.com. That's ChemDAQ.com. And David, I want to say thank you so much for being such a great partner and for delivering a safety solution to the frontline technicians so that those potential exposures can be measured and monitored and utilizing data. And then the last thing I'll say is thank you for delivering educational content, especially new and different educational content for the industry, because I don't think anybody has really seen chemical monitoring education before. So it's a very unique niche in the education that you're providing. So thank you so much again for joining us for SPX 2021.
Thank you, Justin.
All right. And just a reminder, you can visit them, ChemDAQ.com. That's ChemDAQ.com. Find them on LinkedIn. If you want to get some more information directly from the company, you can call 412-787-0202 or send an email to sales@ChemDAQ.com. Now, stay tuned. The next focus hour here on Beyond Clean SPX 2021 with ChemDAQ.